Alright, so majority of the time your cold outreach probably isn't working due to one of 4 reasons. After doing B2B outreach for a few years now, it's actually pretty easy to tell what that reason is based on a few key factors. And when you narrow down that reason and land on a fix, there's nothing stopping you from making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Well, maybe there are a few other things that you have to figure out, but in terms of booking the sales calls to help you get there, you'll basically be set when it comes to knowing how to do solid outreach. This video is all about 4 different reasons why your cold outreach probably isn't working and how you can very easily fix them. Jumping right into it. The very first place that I would look if your cold outreach isn't working is your lead list. You simply can't do solid outreach if you don't have a solid list of quality leads. And you can easily tell when your lead list is the issue if you're simply just not getting very many responses when you're doing your campaigns. So in this case, either narrow down the filter on whatever lead scraping tool you're using, or refine what qualifies someone to make your lead list in the first place. Or you could also try using a completely different tool to scrape those leads. I'll make a separate video where I talk about different lead scraping tools that you can use and how to verify whether those emails and phone numbers are valid. But let's say that you are getting responses, but you're finding that those responses are mostly no's or mostly negative, then the issue with your outreach is definitely your messaging or the offer. You know that you have a solid lead list and you're targeting the right audience if you get responses in the first place. When you find that your message or the offer is the issue, there are 2 main ways that you can solve this. 1, you can reduce the risk of your offer and make it seem as if you already have whatever end result you're offering. I have some examples here. So instead of saying something like, I can fill your yoga studio in 1 week, are you open to chatting? Try saying something along the lines of, I have 8 new yoga students who are interested in doing a class this week. Do you have room to take them? That way it comes across as less of a gamble, less of, is this person able to get me this result? More of, oh, okay, this person already has something that I would want. I might as well take them up on it or see what it is that they have to talk about. This could also look like adding a line that says, if it doesn't work, then you don't have to pay. I find that that type of risk reversal works really well when I'm offering my services. And so I would definitely try the risk reversal tactic if you're finding that your messaging is what's falling short. And the second way that you can fix your offer or your messaging is to simply just be sorry, which I know sounds silly, but this tactic also really works, especially when it comes to the intros of messages. So this could look like, hey, we're sorry for reaching out this way. I know it's unprofessional, but I've been following you online and thought that I'd reach out. This has definitely also worked for me in the past. I like to say something to the effect of, sorry, I know this is random. Sorry, I know you don't know me. And then tack on my offer and the call to action at the end of the message. All right, so if you've gotten to a point where you feel like your audience is solid and you've tried a bunch of different offers and messaging, then the issue could likely be your channel that you're using to do your outreach. There's a possibility that your audience simply isn't on that channel. For example, I know for a fact that my target market, which is lash artists and lash business owners, I know that that channel is on Instagram, which is why doing my outreach on Instagram works out really well for me. However, let's say that you're targeting someone who is in the construction business. I don't know that we could say the same about Instagram being the right channel for targeting that specific market. If you're not sure what channels your industry is on, I would start with some universal channels, as I like to call them, and then continue to probe and figure out where that audience or where that target market hangs out online so that you can experiment with other ways to do your outreach and get those leads to hop onto sales calls. In terms of channels that work well for most industries, I would say that SMS, voicemail drops, and email are pretty universal. And finally, the last reason why your outreach might not be working, but people love to jump to this first, is thinking that it's probably just my niche. Now, I strategically included this as the last reason because honestly, people make it work in every single niche, basically. So if you don't exhaust options 1, 2, and 3 for fixing your outreach, you'll find that you'll just hop niches and nothing's going to quite land if you can't figure out a solid lead source, a solid offer / message, and a solid channel to reach out to that market in. I want to talk about how people go after saturated niches all the time. And like I said, a lot of them make it work. Is it a lot harder to make it work? Yes. But at the end of the day, if you have a solid offer that truly addresses something that a target market wants, you can make any niche work. Some niches are absolutely easier to book with due to a multitude of reasons, saturated or not. So if you truly wanted to, you could probably find a way to make any niche work. But again, emphasis on how much effort it would take to actually make it work and how much time it would take to figure out exactly how to make it work. So long story short, If I were you and my cold outreach wasn't working and I was struggling with turning those cold messages into sales calls, what I would do is first look at your list, then your messaging or the offer, then your channel, and then your niche very last. If and only if you've exhausted your troubleshooting across reasons 1, 2, and 3, and you truly decide that you want to make a niche switch, I would go for one that isn't used to getting pitched often, is sizable enough, and offers medium to high ticket services. But that's just if it were me. Now I'm gonna make a whole different video all on niche selection, but I evaluate a niche based on the size of that niche, how saturated it is, and the pricing of their services, like I mentioned. And some people also disagree on this, but I've chosen my niche, again, the beauty industry, because I find that I enjoy talking to owners within the beauty industry, and I resonate with them more than I do plumbers or HVAC or roofing. Not that those aren't bad niches, but those are just not ones that I feel like I can relate to as much. And I find that majority of the owners in the beauty industry are female as well. So it honestly works in my favor because they enjoy being able to talk to someone who they think they can relate to. So you can also take that into consideration beyond the 3 main factors that determine whether or not something is considered a good niche. Who would you not mind being on the phone with a million times a day? And who do you feel like you can understand most easily? All right, let me know if this video is helpful. Please comment below. I promise I will respond. Even if you want to send some sample outreach messages, I'm happy to edit them. Figuring all these things out and getting sales calls was honestly such a struggle for me in the beginning. So if you're feeling the same way, hang in there. I promise it'll get better, and feel free to click the link below. I would love to chat, get to know you, and also show you how you can also get over 100 sales calls every single month. I also have some free guides below that might help you with your outreach too. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video.